My name is Dr. Antonio Muiña. I'm a medical oncologist, specifically a genital urinary medical oncologist. From day one, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor for people that were very sick. I wanted to treat people who really needed my expertise. Empathy is critical. It's incredibly important. I think particularly as a medical oncologist, you have to understand what the patients are going through. I treat everybody as if it was my mother or my father. I think that's incredibly important. Baptist is an amazing organization. It's extremely well run from top to bottom. It attracts a lot of experts in a lot of medical fields. There's also in the Baptist culture a desire to be cutting edge, and that's extremely important, I think, in delivering healthcare, because advances are coming very rapidly in medicine, and you have to move quickly to adapt all those advances and incorporate them into your practice. And I think Baptist is an organization that not only facilitates this, but promotes it. It's very important that they be optimistic. There are tremendous advances coming. Cancer is not what it used to be. There's a lot of cancers that we're curing. And I think that it's important that when you get diagnosed with an illness that requires intensive therapy, that you do everything you can to help yourself.